Number 10. Emily Hartridge. In South London, 35-year-old YouTube star and actress Emily Hartridge was riding an electric scooter through a roundabout in 2019 when she was hit by a large truck. She died instantly from multiple injuries. Hartridge had recently received 2 scooters for her birthday from her boyfriend, Jacob Hazel. She showed off the vehicles to her followers in her final video. The popular influencer rose to fame when she began posting YouTube videos about relationships, gender, love, and other contemporary issues. Viewers loved her candid approach to topics that aren't always easy to discuss, and she gained a following of more than 340,000 fans before her untimely demise. Hartridge's death was especially tragic because it came at a time when the future looked bright for her. She was happy in her relationship and was even undergoing fertility treatments in hope of having a baby with Hazel. Unfortunately, she never got that chance. Authorities blamed the crash on Hartridge, claiming that she was driving too fast on an underinflated tire. A coroner determined that these factors had caused her to lose control of the scooter, putting her in the direct path of the truck that she collided with. Her death was ruled as a tragic accident, and her memory continues to live on through everyone who loved her. Number 9. Evasive Amputee. In what news reports humorously dubbed the world's slowest chase, New Zealand police pursued a 60-year-old double amputee who attempted to outrun them in his mobility scooter in 2019. Officers tried to stop the suspect, Charlie Durham, after watching him barrel down the sidewalk at what they deemed to be an unsafe speed. And they were determined to catch him, even cutting through traffic in an attempt to intercept him. However, Durham remained undeterred as he sped across 2 traffic lanes and continued fleeing down a sidewalk on the opposite side of the road. And while the cops were less than amused by the man's antics, onlookers found the situation hilarious and cheered, "Go, old man, go," as Durham rolled by. An officer eventually caught up with the man and issued him 2 tickets, one for failing to stop for the police and another for driving his scooter inconsiderably. Durham claimed that he thought the squad car was an ice cream truck trying to get by him to buy something, and that he fled because he wasn't interested. He also said that he needed to get home in a hurry so that he could have his tea because, if he didn't, his evening routine would be thrown off. In a statement, police explained that officers were trying to catch up with the man to talk to him about using his scooter safely. Durham, on the other hand, later said that he thought the police were creating more safety hazards than anyone else by chasing him relentlessly when they most likely have better things to do. Number 8. Jim Heselden. In 2009, British businessman Jim Heselden acquired the Segway company from its founder, American inventor Dean Kamen. Less than a year later, he died after accidentally riding one of the 2-wheeled vehicles off a cliff. Known to his friends as Jimmy, the 62-year-old was riding an outdoor version of the transporter near his Yorkshire estate when he fell off the 42-foot, 13 meters drop. Witnesses reported seeing Heselden plunge into the river wharf. Emergency responders were called to the scene, but there was little they could do other than recover the entrepreneur's lifeless body. Heselden's Segway was also found near the accident site. A spokesperson announced that authorities did not believe that the death was suspicious. This was an unfortunate tragedy that most likely occurred when Heselden moved aside to make room for a dog walker. Sean Christie, who witnessed the accident, testified at an inquest that he saw Heselden move backwards toward the cliff. The man then lost his balance and disappeared over the cliff. Number 7. Grandpa on the Run. In one of 2021's many viral Florida man stories, an elderly gentleman was caught on camera leading cops on a slow-speed chase as he rode his mobility scooter down the Florida Turnpike in late October. The mischievous senior citizen was heading northbound on the shoulder of the highway during the late afternoon when the camera started rolling. Footage was captured of 3 state trooper vehicles cautiously trailing behind the mobility vehicle. Troopers eventually managed to make contact with the 75-year-old, who reportedly said that he had accidentally drove onto the highway and didn't know how to get off. They escorted him to the nearest exit and guided him to safety. Riding a scooter down a busy turnpike with a 70-mile-per-hour, 113-kilometer-per-hour speed limit is extremely dangerous at any age, and a man's life was undoubtedly at risk. However, some social media users couldn't stop themselves from finding humor in the situation, and who can blame them? After all, it's hard not to laugh, especially knowing that the elderly gentleman was unharmed. One commenter simply wrote "Ridin' Dirty" in a nod to the 2005 Chameleonaire song, while another chimed in saying, "This is why Miami's car insurance is so high." Number 6. Explosive e-scooters. In recent years, numerous news headlines have appeared regarding e-scooter batteries that have exploded, typically with catastrophic results. Recently, one of the machines caught fire in the bedroom of an Essex, England home. The blaze quickly spread to the mattress and bedding as residents evacuated in response to the fire alarm. Luckily, firefighters were able to extinguish the flames. Fire Service Watch Manager Mark Blakeborough told the BBC that the incident serves as an example of the overheating dangers of lithium batteries. One family in the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh learned this unfortunate lesson the hard way in 2022. 40-year-old Kottakonda Siva Kumar had just bought his scooter a day earlier when its battery blew up. His wife, 2 kids, and himself were inside their home when the incident took place. They were all rushed to the hospital, but sadly Kumar died on the way there. The other family members were left critically injured from smoke inhalation and were fighting for their lives. Much like the scooter in Britain that caught fire, Kumar was charging his new machine. It was in a room next to the bedroom where the family was sleeping when the explosion happened, causing some electrical wiring to catch fire. The family fled into their kitchen, only to realize there was no way out of the house. Neighbors rushed to their aid and got them out, quite possibly saving their lives. Number 5. Assault on wheels. During an argument with a woman at his Brevard County, Florida home in 2022, 74-year-old Daniel Zarelli allegedly grabbed an 8-inch, 20.3 centimeter or 203 millimeter blade and began chasing her throughout the residence while threatening to kill her. The victim fled the scene on foot, but the suspect was apparently just getting started with his destructive campaign. He exited the home on his mobility scooter and set his sights on a man who was standing next to his rental car. Zarelli followed the man around the vehicle, and at some point he stabbed the car's tire, causing around $500 in damages. When police arrived, the suspect was still reportedly pursuing his victims with the knife in his hand. Officers later said that they noticed the smell of alcohol on Zarelli's breath, which could help to explain his belligerent behavior. They accused the elderly gentleman of openly stating that he wished he had stabbed the male victim when he had the chance. Zarelli was charged with several crimes, including 2 felony counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He was also on felony probation at the time of the incident and was held on $26,000 bond. It's unclear where the case currently stands or if Zarelli has regained his freedom. Number 4. Blinding crash. In July of 2022, a 4-year-old Scottish girl named Coral was riding her scooter to nursery school under her mother's watchful eye when she suddenly crashed. According to Coral's mother, Amanda Allen, who spoke with the Mirror, one end of the scooter's handlebars jabbed her pretty hard in the left eye, but at first the damage didn't seem too serious. The injury wasn't bleeding, Coral wasn't in any pain, and she said she could see out of it just fine, so the protective mom decided to just keep an eye on it to see if it worsened. Amanda started worrying when her daughter started saying that her vision had become blurry and that it felt like something was stuck in her eye. She called the little girl's father and they went to the eye doctor together, only to be told that it could be serious and that they needed to get Coral to the hospital as soon as possible. The brave youngster underwent emergency eye surgery to repair multiple lacerations to her eye. After the operation, Coral said that she still wasn't in any pain. However, she's been blinded by her injury, and it's unclear whether doctors will be able to fully restore her vision. She'll definitely need several more surgeries, and experts have vowed to do everything in their power to try bringing Coral's sight back to normal. For now, the future remains uncertain, as it'll take months for doctors to gauge how much progress she's made. They've warned Amanda that in the worst-case scenario, Coral could remain blind in her left eye for the rest of her life. The terrifying incident has compelled Amanda to raise awareness of the risks that can come with engaging in everyday activities that seem harmless. She doesn't want other moms and dads to go through what she and Coral's dad have. She plans to advocate for the importance of having kids wear eye protection when doing something that may seem mundane, but could have serious life-altering consequences. Number 3. Scooter police chase. When a police sergeant in West Allis, Wisconsin, saw a man on an electric scooter speeding above the limit at 40 miles per hour, 64 kilometers per hour, in May of 2022, he attempted to make a traffic stop. However, the man kept going, and soon enough there were 4 police vehicles trailing behind him. Viral footage of the chase shows the man riding past a crowd and shouting something at the person recording the video. Multiple squad cars were chasing him with their lights and sirens on, but he just kept on going. The pursuit reportedly lasted for quite a while, as the man riding the scooter blew past stop signs and maintained a consistently high speed while driving down the sidewalk. Police later told local station WISN that they finally managed to stop and arrest the disobedient 21-year-old, who now faces charges of eluding and resisting an officer. The case is reportedly under review by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office for a final say on whether criminal charges will be pursued. Number 2. Getaway scooters. As an unusual crime wave hit an ordinarily safe part of Atlanta late in 2021, witnesses began reporting seeing suspects fleeing not in getaway cars, but on scooters. At the time, there was a noticeable uptick in items being stolen from vehicles, according to local resident Emily Hardy, who spoke with news station WSB-TV. While it's easy to write off a bunch of teens on scooters as petty thieves who are more annoying than dangerous, police warned that the bandits might be armed. Hardy told reporters in November 2021 that while she and her husband had not been targeted yet, they constantly worried that they were next. By then, the couple had already called the police at least once after catching thieves trying to steal from a landscaper's truck. Their surveillance camera had also captured footage of some robberies that happened just outside their home. Perhaps most concerning of all was that the young criminals often carried out their illegal activity in broad daylight when they should have been at school. They rolled around the neighborhood on their scooters, seemingly unconcerned about possibly getting caught. The thieves smashed in car windows and grabbed whatever looked valuable whenever the opportunity arose. In addition to using the scooters as a quick getaway, the youths allegedly crashed the scooters into vehicles to lure drivers out, while an accomplice got in the driver's seat and sped away. This concerning crime spike was still going on at the beginning of 2022, according to the most recent update. There's a good chance that residents are still living on edge as they try to protect themselves and their property from harm. Number 1. Thief stopped by man on scooter. A Florida man named Chris Sander was relaxing at his home in Miami Beach during the summer of 2021 when he heard the unmistakable sound of someone firing up the engine of his Lamborghini Urus SUV. His knee-jerk reaction was to somehow apprehend the thief as soon as possible to prevent whoever it was from damaging or disappearing with the $200,000 vehicle. Sander hopped on his scooter and began searching the neighborhood for his car and the person who stole it. Luckily, he found the SUV just blocks away from his house, parked on a sidewalk. The vehicle owner was shocked to find himself face-to-face with a terrified teenage boy who panicked and began asking Sander for advice. The young boy stated that he didn't have a license, didn't know how to drive, and had no idea what to do after committing the foolish act. At the same time, Sander was also nervous because he didn't know if the team was armed or crazy. However, he knew he had to deal with the situation, so he took the most logical approach he could think of. Instead of harshly reprimanding the visibly shaken young man, Sander calmly advised him to turn himself in, telling him that the law would go much easier on him if he took the honest route. By then, a police officer had arrived at the scene. The youth was taken into custody without incident, and the issue was now in the hands of the justice system, which the boy was unfortunately no stranger to. Hopefully, Sander's kindness and level-headed advice influenced the suspect to try getting his life on the right path for the future. Thanks for watching. Would you rather get stuck behind an elderly person on an extremely slow scooter for several miles along a one-lane road, or fall off a scooter and fracture your toe? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. We'll see you next time. Bye.